Ryan lived in a small town where everyone seemed to know everyone else, or at least believed they did. He was an ordinary man with an ordinary life, but he carried a habit that shaped how he saw the world. Ryan judged people quickly. If someone spoke less, he assumed they lacked intelligence. If someone looked careless or worn out, he believed that person had already failed in life. To Ryan, appearances were enough. He thought people showed their true value on the surface, and there was no need to look deeper. Over time, this way of thinking became so natural to him that he never questioned it. In Ryan's neighborhood lived a man named Mike. Mike wore old clothes, kept his head down, and rarely spoke to anyone. He walked slowly, avoided attention, and stayed to himself. Most people didn't like him, not because he had done anything wrong, but because he didn't fit their idea of success. Some neighbors called him lazy. Others said he was strange. Ryan believed the same. Whenever Mike passed by, Ryan looked away, silently deciding that this man's life had no direction or purpose. He never wondered why Mike lived the way he did. What no one knew was that Mike worked every night at a small warehouse on the edge of town. The job paid little, but it was enough to survive. During the day, he stayed home to care for his sick mother who could no longer walk or eat without help. Mike cooked, cleaned, and made sure she took her medicine on time. He slept very little, spoke very little, and carried his responsibilities quietly. He never explained himself because he didn't feel the need to prove his worth to anyone. Mike had once lived a different life. Years ago, he was a skilled mechanic with steady work and big plans, but a serious accident changed everything. He lost his job, his savings, and the future he once imagined. Still, he never lost his sense of responsibility or his kindness. He simply adapted to life as it came, without complaints and without excuses. One night, everything changed for Ryan. A fire suddenly broke out in his house. Thick smoke filled the rooms and panic spread quickly. People ran outside, shouting and crying. Ryan realized his little sister was still inside. Fear froze him in place. He didn't know what to do. Before anyone could react, a man rushed past them and ran straight into the burning house. It was Mike. Without thinking about himself, Mike searched through the smoke and flames. He found Ryan's sister, wrapped her in his jacket, and carried her outside. His hands were burned and his breathing was heavy, but he didn't stop until she was safe. The fire was eventually controlled, but the moment stayed with everyone who witnessed it. At the hospital, Ryan sat quietly, watching doctors treat Mike's burned hands. That night, Ryan learned the truth about him. He learned about the accident, the lost job, the sick mother, and the long nights of hard work. Shame filled Ryan's heart. He realized how easily he had judged someone without knowing even a small part of their story. Ryan walked over to Mike, his voice shaking. He apologized, admitting that he had never tried to understand him. He confessed that he had judged him based only on appearances. Mike listened calmly. There was no anger in his eyes, no pride in his voice. He simply said that most people see first and decide later, but very few people stop to think. Those words stayed with Ryan. From that day forward, Ryan changed. He began to slow down his thoughts and question his assumptions. He learned that silence does not mean weakness and simple living does not mean failure. He realized that every person carries unseen struggles, sacrifices, and strength. Judging someone without understanding their story is not wisdom, but ignorance. This story reminds us to pause before we judge. What we see on the outside is never the full truth. People are more than their appearance, more than a single moment, and more than our quick opinions. True understanding takes time, patience, and empathy. So think before you decide and stop misjudging people, because one day the person you overlook may teach you the most important lesson of your life. If you enjoyed watching, please like, subscribe, and share the video.